Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr.Md.Misbahul. Welcome you all to my channel. Today we will know the name of the muscles of the lower limb. So let's start. The muscles of the lower limb are the thigh muscles, leg muscles, and the muscles of the foot. The muscles of the thigh are the sartorius. This is the sartorius muscle. This is the right side, and this is the left side. Besides or lateral to the sartorius, this is the rectus femoris muscle. This is the left rectus femoris muscle. Lateral to rectus femoris, there is a muscle which is the vastus lateralis muscle. This is the vastus lateralis muscle. This is the vastus lateralis muscle of right side, and medial to the rectus femoris, the name of the muscle is vastus medialis muscle. This is the vastus medialis muscle of right side, and this is the vastus medialis muscle of left side. Now one by one we'll remove the muscles. At first we remove the sartorius muscle, then several muscles has been exposed. This muscle is iliacus muscle. Look, this muscle is iliacus muscle, and this muscle is psoas major muscle. This is the psoas major muscle. Similarly, this is the iliacus and this is the psoas major muscle. And medial to the psoas major muscle, this muscle is the pectineus muscle. This is the pectineus muscle. Look carefully, this is the pectineus muscle. This is the pectineus muscle, and medial to pectineus muscle there is a muscle which is called the adductor brevis muscle. This is the adductor brevis muscle, and medial to adductor brevis muscle, the name of the muscle is adductor longus muscle. Brevis means short and longus means long. So adductor muscle, there is two type of adductor muscle. One is long and another is short. The short adductor muscle is called the adductor brevis muscle, and the long adductor muscle is called the adductor longus muscle. Medial to the adductor longus muscle there is a muscle which is called the gracilis muscle. This is the gracilis muscle, and between the adductor longus muscle and gracilis muscle there is another muscle which is called the adductor magnus muscle. Adductor magnus muscle. If we remove the rectus femoris muscle of both sides, then a muscle is exposed which is called the vastus intermedius muscle. So there are three types of vastus muscle. The most medial part is the vastus medialis muscle. The middle part is the vastus intermedius muscle, and the lateral part is the vastus lateralis muscle. Similarly, this is vastus medialis, this is vastus intermedius, and this is vastus lateralis muscle. If we remove the vastus muscle, then a muscle is exposed which is called the articularis genus muscle. This muscle is the articularis genus muscle. Similarly, if we remove the vastus muscle, we clearly see the articularis genus muscle. Then the adductor muscles are now clearly seen. This is the adductor brevis muscle, this is the adductor longus muscle, this is the adductor magnus muscle. So now the posterior muscles of the thigh. This is the most lateral muscle of the posterior thigh is the long head of biceps femoris muscle. This is the long head of biceps femoris muscle, and this is the short head of biceps femoris muscle. This is the long head of biceps femoris muscle, and this is the short head of biceps femoris muscle. And the medial muscles of the thigh are the semitendinosus muscle. Look, this is the semitendinosus muscle. This is the semitendinosus muscle, and this is the semimembranosus muscle. And this muscle is the adductor magnus muscle from posterior aspect. So we now remove the biceps femoris muscle, long head, then short head. Now the semitendinosus muscle and semimembranosus muscles has been exposed. We remove them. So these are the muscles of the thigh, and this is the iliotibial tract. This structure is the iliotibial tract. The big muscle in the posterior back is the gluteus maximus muscle. If we remove the gluteus maximus muscle, several muscles have been exposed. We remove the gluteus maximus. This muscle is the gluteus medius muscle. This muscle is the gluteus medius muscle, and there are several short muscles, which is the gluteus minimus muscle. Here is the gluteus minimus muscle, and this is the piriformis muscle. This is the piriformis muscle, and this muscle is the coccygeus muscle. This muscle is the iliococcygeus muscle. This muscle is the obturator internus muscle. This is the obturator internus muscle of left side. This muscle is the quadratus femoris muscle. If we remove them one by one, this is the superior gemellus muscle, and this is the inferior gemellus muscle. This is the superior gemellus muscle, and this is the inferior gemellus muscle. So if we remove the piriformis muscle, this is the superior gemellus muscle, and this is the inferior gemellus muscle, and this is the quadratus femoris muscle. Now the muscles of the thigh has been completed. Now the muscles of the leg. The most anterior part of your leg, the muscle is called the tibialis anterior muscle. This is the tibialis anterior muscle of left side. This is the tibialis anterior muscle of right side. Lateral to tibialis anterior muscle, there is a muscle which is called the extensor digitorum longus muscle. This is the extensor digitorum longus muscle, and between the tibialis anterior and extensor digitorum longus muscle, there is a muscle which is called the extensor hallucis longus muscle. Look carefully. This is the extensor hallucis longus muscle. This is the extensor hallucis longus muscle. If we goes more lateral, there is a muscle which is the fibularis longus muscle or peroneus longus muscle. Its another name is peroneus longus muscle. Look carefully. And further lateral, if we go further lateral, then the muscle is the soleus muscle. Soleus muscle is the muscle of the back of your leg. So if we remove the muscles of your anterior leg one by one. First, the tibialis anterior muscle, then the extensor digitorum longus muscle, then the peroneus or fibularis longus muscle, then a muscle, this is the extensor hallucis longus muscle, then a muscle is exposed, which is the tibialis posterior muscle. It is a deep muscle of the posterior compartment of your leg. Now, from the posterior aspect of your leg, there is a big muscle which is called the gastrocnemius muscle. This is the medial head of gastrocnemius, and this is the lateral head of gastrocnemius muscle. Look, this is the lateral head, and this is the medial head of gastrocnemius muscle, and this is the calcaneal tendon or Achilles tendon. If we remove the gastrocnemius muscle, then the muscles exposed here is the soleus muscle. We remove the calcaneal tendon, then the soleus has been exposed. It is a big muscle of your posterior leg. Look, this is a big muscle. This is the soleus muscle. There is a muscle over the soleus muscle. This is the plantaris muscle. This is the plantaris muscle. This is the plantaris muscle. Look, this is the plantaris muscle. We remove the plantaris muscle. Then we remove the soleus muscle. Then several muscles has been exposed one by one. We will know the name of the muscles. From medial to lateral, this is the flexor digitorum longus muscle. Look, this is the flexor digitorum longus muscle. This is the flexor digitorum longus muscle. Then this is the tibialis posterior muscle. This is the tibialis posterior muscle. And more lateral to the tibialis posterior, this is the flexor hallucis longus muscle. This is the flexor hallucis longus muscle. If we remove them one by one, lateral to the flexor hallucis longus muscle, there is a muscle which is the fibularis brevis muscle. This is the fibularis brevis muscle. Look carefully. This is the fibularis brevis muscle. We remove the fibularis brevis muscle. Here we see a muscle. This is called the fibularis tertius muscle. This is the fibularis tertius muscle. This is the fibularis tertius muscle or peroneus tertius muscle. We remove the peroneus tertius muscle. Now, so we completed the muscles of the leg. Now we know the name of the muscles of the foot. First muscle we see here is the extensor digitorum brevis muscle. So we previously learned the extensor digitorum longus muscle. So if there is extensor digitorum longus muscle, so obviously there is a extensor digitorum brevis muscle. So it is the extensor digitorum brevis muscle. Besides the extensor digitorum brevis muscle, it is the extensor hallucis brevis muscle. It is the extensor hallucis brevis muscle. We hide the extensor digitorum brevis and extensor hallucis brevis and extensor digitorum brevis. Now, several muscles has been exposed. We will know the name of these muscles one by one. This is the first dorsal interosseous muscle of foot. This is the second dorsal interosseous muscle of foot. This is the third dorsal interosseous muscle of foot, and this is the fourth dorsal interosseous muscle of the foot. If we remove the dorsal interosseous muscle, then the muscles of the sole has been exposed. There is a large muscle in your sole which is called the flexor digitorum brevis muscle. This is the flexor digitorum brevis muscle. Look carefully. This is the flexor digitorum brevis muscle. We hide or we remove the flexor digitorum brevis muscle. Now the muscles will learn from medial to lateral. From this is the great toe, this is the second toe, this is the third toe, this is the third toe, this is the fourth toe, and this is the fifth toe. So we'll go from medial to lateral. The first muscle is the abductor hallucis muscle. This is the abductor hallucis muscle of the foot. Look carefully. Now the muscles is the flexor hallucis brevis muscle. This is the flexor hallucis brevis muscle. The next muscle besides the flexor hallucis brevis muscle is the first lumbrical muscle. This is the first lumbrical, this is the second lumbrical, this is the third lumbrical, and this is the fourth lumbrical muscle. We remove the lumbrical muscle, then a muscle has been exposed, which is the oblique head of adductor hallucis muscle. This is the oblique head of adductor hallucis muscle, and this is the transverse head of adductor hallucis muscle. This is the oblique head of adductor hallucis muscle, and this is the transverse head of adductor hallucis muscle. We remove them, and this is the flexor hallucis brevis muscle. We remove them. The muscles exposed here is the first plantar interosseous muscle, this is the second plantar interosseous muscle, and this is the third plantar interosseous muscle. We remove them. Now the muscles exposed here is the abductor hallucis muscle. This is the quadratus plantae muscle. This is the quadratus plantae muscle, and this is the abductor digiti minimi muscle. We remove them one by one. Abductor hallucis muscle, quadratus plantae muscle, and abductor digiti minimi muscle. Now the muscle exposed here is the flexor digiti minimi muscle of foot. Flexor digiti minimi muscle of the foot. This is the flexor digiti minimi muscle of the foot, and we remove them. So we learned the name of the muscles of lower limb. In next session, we'll know the origin and insertion of the thigh muscle. I hope this video will help you. Please subscribe the channel so that you can get the new videos instantly. And please share this video to help others. Thanks for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.